The following is a live special presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. And good afternoon, my name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this first day of fall, September 22nd in 2022. And we might finally get a good read on this series between the Dodgers and the Cardinals. John Tudor is 2-0 in this series, so that accounts for the two Dodger wins. LA has beaten Joaquin Andujar and Danny Cox, and that accounts for both of their wins in this series. This will be the last game in St. Louis either way. We go back to LA. There will be a Game 6, and we know that Oral Hershiser will pitch for the Dodgers, and Joaquin Andujar, the likely Game 6 starter for the St. Louis Cardinals. But today we get Bob Forsch against Fernando Valenzuela, so the Dodgers Game 1 starter against the 4th starter for St. Louis in a game that will finally give someone a chance to clinch the whole gosh darn thing. St. Louis does need to win one game not pitched by John Tudor. The Dodgers just need to keep beating pitchers not named John Tudor. No changes for the Cardinal lineup today outside of Forsch with the lefty Fernando on the hill. The Dodgers have benched Greg Brock, and it is the same lineup that they had last night. Enos Cabell batting 8th. And so, with all that, on a beautiful afternoon in St. Louis, it's time for Game 5. Who is actually going to do what they need to do to try to put this series away? As Retro Sports Network presents the 1985 National League Championship Series. Today, live from Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, Game 5 between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDevice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. So Bob Forsch gets the call. Well, they did better last night against Tudor. He got the win, and they only moved up to 6th and 7th. And it was pretty much because Greg Brock has had a horrible series. And so Cabell gets the call today at first. D. Scott Howard, he's not nervous at all, is he? Bob Forsch, by the way, 7-8 with a save. He was a Swiss Army knife pitcher. 26 appearances, 19 starts. He's 35 years old, a standard pitcher. And the Bugs Bunny fastball tops out at 82. His last appearance came on October 4th, so he's on 11 days rest against the Cubs in a 5-4 loss. He didn't get the decision. So overall for Forsch, 149 2/3, 142 hits, 73 runs, surprisingly only 59 earned, 18 homers, 51 walks, and 46 strikeouts. So 7-8 and a 3.55 ERA. This will be the Dodger lineup. Mariano Duncan leads off at short, with the righty back on the mound, the lefty hitter Kenny Landreau back out in center field. Mike Marshall batting third in right field. Pedro Guerrero needs to do something in a hurry. He's cleaning up in left. Bill Madlock batting fifth at third base. Steve Sachs moves up to 6th. He'll play second base. Mike Scioscia batting 7th behind the plate. Cabell, the wild card here. Tommy's got to take a chance, especially with Brock really, really struggling at first base. And Game 1 starter Fernando Valenzuela gets the call for Game 5. So defensively for the Cardinals, it is Coleman is a 5 and an 8 in the left. McGee is an 8 and 7 in the center. Landrum, not that great. A 4 and a 4 and right. They will be glad to put Van Slyke back in there, at least for defensive purposes, in Los Angeles. Pendleton is a 9 at third. Ozzie Smith a 9 at short. Tommy Herr 5 at second. Jack Clark a 6 at first. Nieto a 5 and a 7 behind the plate. Force a 7 on the mound with a .970 fielding percentage. They say the biggest game in a 7-game series is Game 5. So somebody's about to fly out west with a chance to put this thing away. Can the Dodgers hold serve today and have 2 cracks? Or will the Cardinals go out west with 2 chances to win the pennant? Duncan at .313 on the series, 5 for 16. A double and 3 RBI. And this one's a ground ball to third. Pendleton over to Clark, 1 out. So Game 6 of the ALCS will be Saturday night at 8. What are we doing? And then we'll kind of go from there about where the rest of this thing will go. Sunday will be Game 6 of the Cardinals and the Dodgers. Landreau has not had a great series. 1 for 11 with a double and grounded into a double play. When your OPS is .273, it's not very good. Landreau into left field goes the opposite way. Coleman moves over and makes the catch, 2 out along the foul line. Brings up Mike Marshall, 5 for 15, a homer and 2 RBI. You know, I've had the Blue Jays championship slide ready to go the last 2 nights, and no one's seen it. And if the Angels win tomorrow or Saturday night, you just never know. Pitch to Marshall. Struck him out. So Force got him, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the first here in Game 5. No score. So Fernando Valenzuela, a 23-game winner. On the replay, 23-9 with an earned run average of 2. And normally would it be in high contention for the Cy Young. John Tudor is going to make that point absolutely moot. In 6 innings in Game 1, he threw 89 pitches, including 3 wild ones, 8 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned, a homer, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. He is 25 years old, but has the arm of a 30-year-old, a screwball pitcher at 90, and a ground ball pitcher. And this will be the lineup they'll face. Vince Coleman leads off in left field. Willie McGee will bat second and play center. Tommy Herr at second, bats third. Jack Clark cleans up at first. Tito Landrum gets the call again in right against the lefty Fernando. Pendleton at third will bat sixth. Ozzie Smith at short will bat seventh. Eagle-eyed viewers among you will see that is actually Tom Nieto's picture in Tom Nieto's slot in the lineup. And Bob Forsch, president of the National Prune Liking Society of Missouri chapter, is on the mound. You don't have to fight the white circle of doom. Oh. Yeah, you like the Retro 85 graphics, huh? So, Tribe Fan did the sleep clinic. How'd that go for you? I did that years ago. Guerrero a 4 and a 5 in left. Landreau a 4 and a 2 in center. Mike Marshall a 3 and an 8 in right. It'll be Badlock a 4 at third. Duncan a 5 at short. Sachs a 5 at second. Cabell a 5 at first. Socha a 7 and a 6 behind the plate, and Fernando a 7 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Vince Coleman, well, his offense was run over by a Tarp machine, 2 for 19 on the series with an RBI. He does have a stolen base. Oh, okay. So Blue Jacket fan says only had the consultation, not actually falling asleep. Get to do the one-night study at home. That's the best way to do it. And then possibly do it at the lab. Todd did the sleep study, put me on a CPAP machine. Oh, good. I had one and hated it. So I sleep with a fan on my face and lost about 75 pounds. So Coleman's ready, and he laces this to right. Marshall going back in the corner. That was well struck. 1 out. Winds right to left at 668 degrees. For Willie McGee, 5 for 16 on the series, 313 a homer, and 3 RBI. Because I don't have use of the hands, once in a while I'll get an acid attack in the night, and I really don't want to choke to death in the CPAP machine. Oh yeah, you were falling asleep behind the wheel at red lights before. Yeah, that's scary. That's scary. Yeah, wow. Wow is right. So here's McGee. Willie swings. That's up the middle. Landro won't get there. That's a single. So the first hit for the Cardinals. If the Cardinals can win a game without Tudor, that gets them to the World Series. Yeah, I'm sure that's part of the questionnaire. Thankfully, you don't do that. So here's her. How you doing? Braves for life. How's the eye doing today? 5 for 17 is Tommy. 294 in this LCS with 2 RBI. Valenzuela throws to first. And McGee is back. So they're going to steal. Pitch to her is in there. Throw down to Sachs is not in time. So a 1-strike pit count now. And McGee in scoring position. So if the Cardinals do win this one, Mr. Howard will find some good munchies to have and realize that if the Dodgers are going to the World Series, they're going to have to beat John Tudor to do it. Pitch to her, and he walked him. Remember, Fernando's on full rest. And it was a wild pitch on ball 4, and McGee goes to third. Fernando uncorked 3 in game 1, and that's his 4th of the series. Here's Clark, 438, 7 for 16, a homer, and 3 RBI. Big Dave, how are you? Happy Thursday. So runners on the corners, 1 out. Cardinals pressing early. Clark pops up, left side, Madlock, and will run out of real estate, and the count is 1-2. To beat the best, you gotta beat the best. Scotty shows no fear. Absolutely no fear. So 1-2 the count. Woo! We're doing Ric Flair impressions in the chat. Pitch to Clark. Base hit left field. McGee will score. Guerrero picks it up. Her will hold at second, and the Cardinals draw first blood, 1-0. Eyes the same, but that's to be expected. Have you got a patch on it, or how's that working for you? Tito Landrum is 3 for 7. Has a solo homer. That came yesterday in their Game 4 win. This time around, up the box to Fernando. Sachs for 1, Cabell for 2. So the Cardinals threaten to have a big inning, but they only get 1. They leave a runner on the double play after 1-0 St. Louis. So here's Guerrero. PD needs something right now. He's 2 for 16, a 125 average, 2 singles and an RBI. Up the middle for a base hit. So the first Dodger hit, forced, by the way, 125 pitches, his expected pitch count, and Fernando at 135. No, you're on medical leave until at least October 3rd. Well, You just did that to enjoy the playoffs here on Retro Sports Network. No patch, just a blurry left eye. Here's Madlock. Bill has had a very good series. 6 for 16, 375, scored 3 runs. A walk and a strikeout. Forced from the stretch. Base hit, left center field. McGee cuts it off. Guerrero will hold at second. And the Dodgers have first and second. Nobody out. We'll see if we get some more Ric Flair impressions in the chat. Here's Sachs hitting 7 for 14 on the series. A triple and RBI. He has scored 4 times in the first 4 games. Force winds and deals. Line drive to third. Pendleton looks everybody back. And there's 1 out for Scioscia. 429, 6 for 14, a double and a homer, and 6 RBI. That sounds like something you'd find at KB or Toys R Us. It's the Bill Madlock hitting machine. So first and second, 1 out. Liner, that's going to drop in front of Landrum. And so the bases, what's Guerrero going to do? Petey rounds third. They're going to throw for him. Nieto gets ready. Here comes the throw, and it gets away from Nieto. Madlock will go to third. The game is tied. So a single, and it's not considered an error. Although I think that is a home team scoring special because everyone moved up 90 on the bad throw. So 1 out and 2 in scoring position for Cabell, who was 1 for 6 with a run scored, a grounding into a double play, and a strikeout. So the Dodgers claw 1 back immediately. Force delivers, struck him out. So 2 out for Fernando, a full count curveball swung on and missed. Fernando 0 for 1 in game 1, but is not a complete dead weight at the plate. Ground ball to short. He'll make Ozzie field it. He does. He robs Fernando of a hit and keeps the game tied. He's a wizard, Harry. He's a wizard indeed. But the Dodgers tie the ball game. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-1. So Pendleton, Smith, and Nieto to face Fernando here in the second. Terry, 3 for 14 on the series. How you doing, John? 3 singles and an RBI. Fernando winds and deals. Left field, Guerrero, 1 out. Here's Ozzie. Ozzie is having a fantastic playoff. 7 for 15, hitting 467, a triple, and 2 RBI. Liner, Marshall, got it. 2 out. For Nieto, who's 2 for 8. He is singled twice and driven in 2. In the left center, Landro will make the catch, and the Cardinals go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the third here in Game 5. It's the Dodgers 1, St. Louis 1. And so it'll be Duncan, Landro, and Marshall, top of the lineup to face Force. 37 pitches for Bob, 2 innings, 9 batters, 3 hits, and 2 strikeouts. Duncan's 0 for 1. Ground ball to Ozzie. Smith fires to first. 1 out. So here's Landro. Kenny's 0 for 1. Line drive, right field, extra bases. Landro comes through. Landrum goes to pick it up along the wall. Kenny is taking his time. It's only going to be, maybe it's 2. The throw to Ozzie is not in time. Landro has a second double. Landro kind of found neutral in part of that run between first and second and made that close. So here's Marshall. Struck out. He's 0 for 1. Forsch. Batting averages favor the Dodgers here. Pitch to Mike. Ground ball to Ozzie. Over to first. For the out. So Landro holds at second. 2 out for Guerrero, who singled and scored his first time up in the second. Forsch's pitch. Ground ball, hard grounder to third. Pendleton across the way. And Petey is retired. So Landro is stranded on the double. No runs, a hit, no errors. Bottom of the third here in St. Louis. 1-1. So Forsch, a good hitter. 244 on the real year, a homer and 4 RBI. To short. Duncan. Cabell. Forsch is running, and Forsch is going to get on with the air. A low throw by Duncan, and Cabell couldn't grab it. So the first charged error of the game goes to the Dodgers, and Fernando's opening 28 pitches, 2+ innings, 2 hits, a walk, an earned run. Coleman is 0 for 1. In to shallow right center. Landro rides the Schwinn, 1 out. For McGee, who singled, stole the base, and scored. Got him. 2-2 Scroogey for strike 3. Looking. So 2 out for Tommy Herr, who walked his first time up. Fernando kicks and fires, and Herr draws the walk. So Forsch, who is not a slow pitcher, he's rated a 5 runner. And that brings up Clark, who had an RBI single that scored Guerrero in the second. Or not Guerrero, scored McGee in the first. Ron's paying attention. It's only my 5th game in 3 days. Pitch to Clark. Fly ball left field. Guerrero in the alley makes the catch to retire the side. So the Cardinals strand 2. No runs, no hits, and 1 error. We go to the 4th here at Busch. 1-1. So the hit machine Bill Madlock, you can find that at Toys R Us. With the Tom Mamansky fielding drills videos. Bill singled his first time up. He'll get another base hit. That's going to drop in front of Coleman along the line and left. Vince cuts it off. And that's the 5th hit for the Dodgers. This one has been tense. I'm telling you, I don't have a handle on this series. I didn't think I had. I thought I had a handle on the NLCS, and the Angels have proved me wrong twice. So, here's Sachs. He's 0 for 1. Chopper, is that a bunt? No, he does bunt, and it's a foul ball, so it's 0-2. Sachs has 7 hits on the series as well. Ground ball to third, might be 2. Pendleton goes to Tommy Herr for 1, over to Clark for 2. So the Cardinals go around the horn. 2 out here in the top of the 4th for Socha, who drove in Guerrero on the single in the second. Hard little number down to Clark, over to Forsch, and that will retire the side. Bottom of the 4th coming up. Dodgers get a hit, can't do anything with it. 3.5 down, 1-1. And both series have become entertaining. Jim Clancy will get the call Saturday night to put the thing away for Toronto against Ron Romanek. Landrum is 0 for 1. I'm assuming it's Hershiser and Andujar for Game 6. Landrum, fly ball, right field. Marshall makes the catch. And here comes Pendleton. Terry's 0 for 1. Got him. So swung on and missed on the curveball, and that's the second strikeout for Fernando. So here's Ozzie. Ozzie is 0 for 1. Fernando's pitch. Base hit left field. Guerrero picks it up. And that is the third hit for the Cardinals. So here's Nieto. Tom is 0 for 1. Ozzie's tempted to go. They're going to see if Fernando throws over. Fernando does not throw over, and Nieto strikes out. So he swung on and missed a screwball, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, and the Cardinals have left 4 on. We go to the 5th in Game 5 in a 1-1 tie. So here's Cabell. He struck out. He's really not doing any better than Greg Brock. No jinx. Line drive to Her for the out. So one away for Fernando, who's 0 for 1. Chopper to second. Her towards first. Throws to Clark. 2 out. So Forsch opening 18 on 69 pitches. 4 2/3 innings. 5 hits and 2 strikeouts. Duncan is 0 for 2. Liner, center field. McGee will cut it off, and Duncan was thinking 2 all the way. So he's got his second double of the series. And here's Landreau, who doubled his last time up. What projects are coming up after the series on Retro Sports Network, Ron? I'm not sure yet. One project depends on the timing of release. And I'm kicking around some other ideas. But I haven't determined what's coming up for the last 3 months of 2022. Pitch to Landreau. Fly ball, right center. McGee makes the catch, and that will retire the side. Halfway home in Game 5. D. Scott Howard is figuring out how much more of his fingernails he can chew. It's the Dodgers 1, the Cardinals 1. If you joined us late, here's how we got here. Clark, with an RBI single to score Willie McGee, made it 1-0 St. Louis in the first. Mike Scioscia singled to score Guerrero in the second. That tied the ball game. Fernando, a 3-hitter through 4. He's walked 2 and struck out 3. Forsch, he's done what he's needed to do. He's only given up the 1 run, 6 hits over 5, and struck out 2. And if you look at that, it's interesting that the Dodger ERA is at 4.05 for the series, while the Cardinals is at 3.24. The batting average is coming into Game 5. The Dodgers are hitting 275. The Cardinals are hitting 268. And I guess that's pretty much why this series is tied at 2. Force is 0 for 1. Fernando winds and deals into left center. Landro will move over and make the catch, 1 out. I was thinking 2001. Someone else has suggested 93. So I'm open for suggestions for any season after 1990. Here's Coleman. He's 0 for 2. Fernando, 62 pitches through 18 batters. 4 1/3, 3 hits. He's walked 2 and struck out 3. Ground ball, hard shot to Madlock. Has to hurry over to first, and Vince has just not had a good series. My goodness. Here's McGee. Willie 1 for 2. He has struck out, singled, scored, and stole a base. And that's an extra base hit. Guerrero will cut it off. Going to be a close throw to second, as a matter of fact, but McGee is in there. That's a double. Guerrero played that ball very well. And McGee, which you thought would have been a shoo-in to get the double, that actually turned into a closer play. So here's her. Timing is walked twice. Only the 4th hit for the Cardinals. So we play the bottom of the 5th. Got him! Fernando got him to swing and miss. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 5, 1-1. Todd, do you have a project in mind? So here's Marshall. Mike is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Base hit. Right field. Landrum will throw it back in. 7th hit for the Dodgers as we start the 6th. Guerrero is 1 for 2. He has singled and scored. An extra base hit would make that flight home to L.A. a lot easier. Force delivers. Fly ball left field. That won't be it. Coleman looks in the sky, makes the catch. Marshall goes back to first. 1 out for Madlock, who is 2 for 2. 2001, a retro sports odyssey. The Drew Bledsoe fan club would like me to redo 2001, right? Pitch to Madlock. There's a fly ball, right field. That ball is well struck. Back goes Landrum. He'll turn and watch it go. The Dodgers lead 3-1. Madlock picked up from the Pittsburgh Pirates has just made a big kaboom to give the Dodgers a 3-1 lead here in the 6th. My goodness gracious, did he smash all of that one. He raises a fist in the air, and the Dodgers go there. Todd did 93 once. Yeah, Madlock has played awful well. It's possible if I could get the schedule to do 94. Phil's ran away with the East. I'm surprised because the Expos were in contention right to the end. And I don't remember the AL being close either. It was Toronto and Chicago in real life. The problem is the computer does not pick the world's best lineups with 94. Here's Sachs. He's 0 for 2. Pitch to Steve. Ground ball foul. Third base side. Be curious to see what new features are added to the game. 0-2 the count to Sachs. The crowd in a hush now. with the Dodgers with a 2-run lead. Sack swings into right center. McGee running in will make the catch. 2 out for Sosha, who's 1 for 2. So Madlock now hitting .474, 3 for 3 today with 2 RBI and the home run. Sosha, grounder to short. Ozzie again. What a series he's had. Over to Clark, and that will retire the side. So the Dodgers pull ahead on the 2-run shot by Bill Madlock. After 5.5, 3-1 LA. So here's Clark. 1 for 2, a single and RBI. Gwynn and Walker season. If I was to do a short project, you could do the what if on the 94 playoffs. But we want to give some baseball a break. We've been doing this since January. Pitch to Clark. Popped up. Sosha makes the drop. He can't get it, and that's an error. So that's the second error for the Dodgers. And the count goes to 2-2. Fernando winds and deals, and Clark sends this one into left. Guerrero really running in hard, makes the catch. 1 out. Todd's pet project would be to finish the 81 strike season by just playing the missed games and add those stats and standings to the real stuff. You'd have to do that all by hand, I would think, Todd. Here's Landrum. Tito is 0 for 2. 1 out here in the 6th. Ground ball, Sacks over to first for the out. Here's Pendleton. Terry is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Fernando winds and delivers. Ground ball to Sacks. Throws to Cabell, and that will retire the side. We are through 6 in Game 5. No runs, no hits, and the air does not hurt. After 6, 3-1 Dodgers. So Cabell, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, Fernando and Duncan to face Forsch here in the 7th. Enos is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, and we will let Len Matusik pinch hit. Lenny 0 for 2 with a strikeout on the series. And so I bet your bottom dollar that it will be Greg Brock in Game 6. Why 2001? Oh, it was a hell of a World Series. The Mariners, 114 wins. The Yankees are quite good. But I'd be curious to see if Seattle could get to that World Series. Waiting for the Jucket Broadcasting feature in the game. There's a lot of good teams. I mean, it's Pete Pedro as well. There were some close races. I think a few of the divisions were like within a couple games. 116 wins for the Mariners. And we've already, 85 will be the third and that run for me that from my prime years. So definitely want to do something out of my wheelhouse. Pitch to Matusik. Lenny swings into right field. Landrum will make the catch. 1 out. I imagine Fernando is going to stay in the ball game up 3-1. He's 0 for 2. He does, and he punches one into right center. Landrum will cut it off. And that's the 9th hit for the Dodgers. And RJL's replay. How are Maris and Mantle doing? Here's Duncan. Duncan 1 for 3 with a double. So Forsch 27 batters, 93 pitches, 6 1/3, 9 hits. The home run to Madlock. No walks and 2 strikeouts. Braves were so-so in 2001, 88, and 74. And Greg Brock, no, we're not going to pinch it. Duncan in the left center. McGee coming in. Makes the catch. And Fernando goes back. So I don't know. 94 would be a pain to do because you want to do the whole 162. Here's Landreau. Kenny is 1 for 3. He's got himself a double. But I'm all ears for any suggestion from 90 forward. To her. Tommy over to first, and that will retire the side. Stretch time 3-1. So it'll be Ozzie, Nieto, and we'll see to face Valenzuela in the 7th. Ozzie 1 for 2. He's had a magnificent series. Now has 8 hits. 7 singles and a triple for Ozzie. Fernando starts the 7th with ball 4. So here's Nieto, who's going to bunt 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Actually, Ozzie's going to steal. Socha throws down to Sachs, and Ozzie has it. The game will play anything that's on the schedule. So you need to have the complete schedule to do it. It would take a lot of work to do one of the strike years. 95 being the exception because that's just a 144 game season anyway. That's close enough. So Nieto's going to bunt here. So sure, you can add games to it, but since these are all, the regular seasons are all as played, there's no lineups. And trust me, the computer makes some strange decisions. Nieto squares. Valenzuela has it, and they'll get the sacrifice over to Sachs. So Smith on third. And Forsh's average here is 242. So we'll look. Who can hit a lefty? Cedeno? Thanks, Praise for Life. So Cedeno or Forsh? I think you got to go with Cedeno. You need the run. So Cesar, 0 for 2 in the playoffs. Ozzie Smith on third. Fernando getting ready here. They'll concede the run and make it a 1-run game. And Cedeno can hit a lefty. Right in the shallow left. Guerrero has it. And Ozzie will tag and score. Guerrero robbed him of a hit. It is 3-2. Well, remember, I'm not going to go through and do 2 months worth of manual lineups. And we don't know what those lineups would be. And you don't know who got hurt. I mean, one of the nice things about the way I do these replays is that I just pop in. Computer tells me who the lineup is, except for the playoffs. Who I can use in the bullpen. And this, that, and the other thing. We just play the game and chat. Coleman is 0 for 3, by the way. 3-2 now. 98 pitches through 27 batters for Fernando. 6 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. He has walked 3 and struck out 4. Right back to Fernando. Throws it to Matuzik, who's 5 at first, and that will retire the side. Going to the 8th. 1 run, no hits, no errors. I just show up and announce. That's it. Never mind the fact that it's like 30 minutes to prep the slides and all that before these games. After 7, it's 3-2 LA. So, righty, righty, righty. We'll start with Bill Campbell again. Campbell's had a mixed bag for this series. 37 years old. Fastball at 85 and a ground ball pitcher. In game 2, he took the loss. He went inning and allowed a run. In game 4 yesterday, 2/3 of an inning and choked on the bit. So overall, an inning and 2/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, and a strikeout. Marshall 1 for 3, a strikeout and a run scored. Campbell starts his outing with a strikeout. Marshall looked at a 1-2 off-speed pitch for strike 3. Guerrero 1 for 3. PD has singled and scored. Ozzie Smith looks towards the Dodger bullpen, points to Tom Niedenfuer and says, "I see you. I see you warming." Pitch to Guerrero. Ground ball to third. Pendleton for the out. That's right, you're the one that did the baseball card of me. Can I hand them out to all my admirers where I live? And they'll go, "The cheese has slipped off your cracker, Ron." Here's Madlock. He now has 9 hits on the series. 3 for 3 today, a homer and 2 RBI. For a fee, of course. Oh, yes. So I don't turn around and sell them on eBay? Pitch to Madlock. Ground ball to third. Campbell will retire him. Pendleton over to first for the out. And that'll do it. Bob Baylor's going to play third. So Madlock is done for the day. Baylor is a 7. Bottom of the 8th inning, 3-2 Dodgers. So McGee, Herr, and Clark to face Fernando. And McGee strikes out the Scroogey on a full count. You can airbrush Vin Scully next to me? Why would you do that to poor Vinny? Here's Tommy Herr. Tommy has walked twice and struck out once. He's 0 for 1. It's hot in here. It's 76 in here. It's 62 outside. Someone's got the heat cranked. And Herr draws the walk. We don't. So here's Clark. Clark, the potential go-ahead run, by the way. He's 1 for 3 today. A single and an RBI. Herr stays put. Throw to Matuzik. And he's back. 90 yesterday, 60 now. In Ohio. So Baylor a 7 at third. Matuzik a 5 at first. Pitch to Clark. Base hit, left center field. Guerrero cuts it off. Herr will hold at second. So first and second, 1 out for Landrum. Dodger fans, speak up. Fernando has the advantage here. That's what I was thinking of. JT Dutch, how are you? Although I like the batting average there. Socha goes out to talk to Fernando. Valenzuela kicks and fires. Got him. That's 6 for Fernando. A 1-2 fastball on the inside corner. 43 tonight and 53 yeah. It's cool out today. It was dark. My mom's coming for lunch tomorrow. So here's Pendleton. Terry is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. First and second, 2 out. 3-2 Dodgers. Bottom of the 8th of Game 5. Pendleton flies to right. Marshall by the pens and will make the catch. And so Fernando gets out of it. No runs, a hit, no errors. The Cardinals have left on 7. We go to the 9th in Game 5. The Dodgers 3, the Cardinals 2. So Sachs, Socha, and probably a new pitcher for Matuzik. Steve is 0 for 3 in Game 5. Campbell starts the inning. Popped up, right side. Clark. Bob Forsch started for the Cardinals. John Tudor's made 2 starts in the series and won them both. The Dodgers are 3 outs away from beating anyone not named John Tudor for the 3rd time. Socha 1 for 3, a single, and an RBI. Popped up, shallow left. Pendleton and Coleman. It's Terry, 2 out. And Campbell, gonna go 2, huh? Here's Matuzik. No. Who can hit a righty? Now I'll go with Greg Brock. Brock is 1 for 12 in. Please leave Fernando in. That's the computer's call. You don't want Niedenfuer, huh? Brock 1 for 12 with 4 strikeouts. Here's the pitch. Walked him. Then now you'll see what they do with Fernando. That will be the computer's decision. Fernando was 1 for 3. And Bill Russell will pinch hit. Dun, 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 dun. So Big Russ had an RBI pinch hit single in this series. Yeah, Smith's go crazy home run was 1 in a million. So Campbell deals. There's a ground ball to Ozzie. He's going to go across the way to Clark. And that'll do it. And it is indeed Tom Niedenfuer. To lock this one down and to send the Dodgers across the country with 2 chances to win it. In Game 3, he picked up the save. 1 inning, 11 pitches, 3 hits, a run it was earned. 3 innings overall in this NLCS. 4 hits, an earned run, and 2 walks. You notice that the percentage of a home run chance here for Ozzie is 0. It's not just 0.1 or 0.2. It's 0. Nevertheless, he's 1 for 2 today. A run scored, a stolen base, and a walk. And he's hitting .471 on the series. Niedenfuer starts his night. Go crazy, folks. It's a fly ball to left. And there's 1 out. So here comes Andy Van Slyke. Andy is 0 for 6 with 3 walks on the series. And you notice his chance of a home run is not 0. No, I was talking about that. The NBC flashed the graphic just before the infamous home run. He had never done it in 2,130 at-bats. That was his first ever against a right-handed pitcher. Even Rick Manning was impressed. Pitch to Van Slyke. Fly ball right field. She is gone. A pinch hit home run for Andy Van Slyke has tied this game at 3. One batter later. He hung it, and Van Slyke just slammed it. Go crazy, folks, go crazy. And it's cardiac time in St. Louis. De Jesus, it does not have a bat at bat. Who would you have gone with? I would have gone with Diedenfuhr. That was the right call. So De Jesus on the real year, 222, no homers and 7 RBI. But again, it's the Cardinal power. They hit 2 home runs last night, Clark and Landrum, and now Van Slyke with a home run to tie it. Got him. Swung on and missed. Well, that's Tommy AI's job to do that. Here's Coleman. He's 0 for 4. I mean, I really only want to interfere with the visitors when it's so obvious that a move needs to be made. Pitch to Coleman. Up the middle. Duncan, we're going to go extras in game 5, maybe. No, it gets away from Brock. And the winning run is on. Well, remember, they pinch hit for Valenzuela, which I think was the right move. You had runners on. So here's McGee. He is 2 for 4. He has singled, doubled, stolen a base. Yeah, the Dodgers have been sloppy. Diedenfuhr. Don't we all, Todd? Don't we all need a little more Judy Landers? McGee has struck out twice. They throw to first. And Coleman's back. And now Coleman will go. Socha throws down to Duncan, and Coleman is out! They throw him out! A 92% chance to steal, and they don't. And we're going extra. Socha nailed him. And to the 10th we go. It's the Dodgers 3. The Van Slyke homer makes it the Cardinals 3. Wow. Yep. So righty, lefty, righty. It's Lottie. Did I screw that one up? No. About 4%, I think it was. It wasn't nil, but it wasn't very high. All right, changes here. Van Slyke moves into right. He has the best arm out there. He's a 4 and a 9. Porter behind the plate. He's a 5 and a 4. And Lottie, who has pitched 3 times in this series, got the save last night. He threw 4 pitches. He gave up a run in game 2. So overall, an inning and a third, 3 hits, a run it was earned, a strikeout, and an ERA of 6.75. He is 29 years old, a fastball 89, and a standard pitcher. So Lottie will bat in the 5 hole. It's a 1-inning outing for him regardless. Duncan is 1 for 4. Lottie starts the 10th. Fly ball center field. McGee going back there. Willie makes the catch, 1 out. For Landro, who is 1 for 4, he has doubled. And Niedenfuer will probably pitch the 10th. McGee, Clark, and a pinch hitter. Pitch to Landro. Struck him out. He looked at an 0-2 fastball for strike 3, and here's Marshall. This one's on a razor's edge, the series and the ballgame. Mike's 1 for 4. Mike is going to hit this one in the left, but Coleman will get there. And we go to the bottom of the 10th. The Dodgers go in order. After 9.5, 3-3. So McGee, and Clark. And they've all been productive off of Niedenfuer. And the Dodgers, at least. Maybe not Niedenfuer. Willie? 2 for 4. A single, a double. Needing fire and blown saves. Yep. Vince Coleman had a 92% chance of stealing second. But as I've said before, 92 is not 100. And Sosha just nailed him. Pitch to McGee. Willie swings into right center. Landro coming in. Has it for the out. 1 away. So here's her. Tommy has walked 3 times today and struck out. So technically 0 for 1. Don't know. They might pull this one off. Guerrero, Baylor, and Sachs. So they're going to miss Madlock here in the 11th, should the game go that far. Pitch to her. Base hit left side. Guerrero picks it up. So the Cardinals have the winning run on and 1 out for Clark, who was 2 for 4 with an RBI. Tom's pronouns are her and her. An 800-page replay guide for a given season? Yeah, Ron Bernier, BaseballSimResearch.com. Here. So, Herb will wait to see what Niedenfuer does. Clark, the winning run. Tom throws to first to Tom, and Tom is back. And this time it's 93%. He's going. Pitch to Clark is taken. The throw down to Sachs, and this time Her's in there. So now the winning run is in scoring position in a 1-ball count to, in a 1-ball count to Clark. Left field. Guerrero. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It is over. The Cardinals have beaten the Dodgers by the score of 5-3. And for St. Louis, that's a winner. And if we're going to continue to do Jack Buck impressions, I don't believe what I just saw. The Cardinals are going west with a chance to win it. Five runs, 8 hits, no errors. Matt just gets here at the end. I don't know if the computer... Does the computer intentionally walk people? 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for St. Louis, and they left on 7. 3 runs, 9 hits, and 3 errors for the Dodgers, and they left on 6. You'd think it would. So, Jeff Lottie gets the win. Bill Campbell with lights out in the 8th and the 9th to keep it in there, and Tom Niedenfuer did what Tom Niedenfuer did. Fernando, a great effort. 8 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 4 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Yeah, I mean, that was the call. You're going to get the pitcher spot up, and I'm going to, Mike Jorgensen, Tom Lawless and company, that's who you're down to. Jack Clark is our Digital Dice player of the game. He goes 3 for 5. Judy's waiting at home with the saran wrap. With 3 RBI. And so the Cardinals will now have a chance Sunday to wrap this up in 6. Sorry, Dodger fans. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Have I ever seen the computer do an intentional walk? And the answer is, I don't know. The pitchers for Game 6 Sunday. In real life, the Dodgers were down 3-2. Was this the game that Ozzie hit the home run? Or was that Game 4? It is Clancy and Romantic Saturday in Game 6 in Toronto. Ozzie went deep in Game 5. Wow. Wow. That should be an obvious that there should be an intentional walk. But there really is no playoff AI. Jack Clark walked it off with a homer in the bottom of the 10th. So the Cardinals will go to L.A. after the day off with a chance. Yeah, I remember Clark's homer being the winner in Game 6. So it is Joaquin Andujar for St. Louis. And Oral Hershiser in Game 6 for... This game isn't accurate. And Oral Hershiser for the Dodgers in Game 6. And it's looking like if we go to a Game 7... Well, it really is Johnny Holstaff, but you could see Honeycutt or Welch. And for the Cardinals, I would venture to guess that John Tudor would get that call, or Danny Cox. So there you have it. What a way for St. Louis to end Game 5. And with that, I'm Ron Juckett. Thank you so much for watching. Jack Clark off of Tom Niedenfuer, and St. Louis has the first shot at the pennant. And we'll tell you about that Sunday. Tomorrow, no streaming. Mom's in town. So Saturday night, Game 6 of the ALCS between the Blue Jays and the Angels from Toronto. And Mr. Howard, if the Blue Jays win, what time do you want Game 6 of your series? That was a fantastic game. I will tell Mom that my buddies on the net said hi, for sure. So, just waiting to see. So, if we need a doubleheader Sunday, we'll do it early. All right. So, the Game 6 of the Dodgers series will be at noon Eastern Sunday. And if we get a Game 7 of Blue Jays Angels, it'll be the late game. So Monday, if there is a Game 7 of this series, it will be the primetime game. So there you have it. In the World Series, if we go the distance in this series, and I do think we will, the World Series would start Thursday. Okay? Starting Thursday. Until then, I'm Ron Juckett. We'll talk to you Saturday for that craziness that's the Blue Jays and the Angels. So long, everybody.